let's just settle into our meditation posture. And if you are sitting at a desk and your feet are down on the ground, you put a little cushion underneath your feet, so they're not hanging down at some kind of weird angle. If you have long legs, of course, it doesn't matter. And then make sure your ankles aren't crossed or your legs aren't crossed. So you just want them to be in a parallel position. Unless you are, of course, sitting in the regular cross-legged meditation posture. Then you can put a couple of cushions under each knee if you are tight in your hips and your knees. I would suggest you would raise your sits bones between 2 to 4 inches. Hands are in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left, thumbs are touching. And as I've said before, if you've been learning meditation elsewhere, and the recommendation is hands on your knees, facing downwards, or hands facing upwards, or in some kind of mudra, just whatever feels comfortable for you for this meditation is fine. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. And so imagine the crown of your head is reaching for the stars. Just imagine you're lengthening your spine. So you're coaxing all those tiny muscles along your back to lengthen. And put some space in between your vertebrae. Your head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose to a spot about 2 inches in front of you. If your eyes are open, tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. Let's bring our awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the back of the eye sockets, the nose, the cheeks, that area around your mouth. Lips are slightly apart. Just relax everything. Bring your awareness to the back of the head. Relax the scalp there. The base of the scalp, the occipital bone area. Relax your ears, temples, jaw, back of the tongue. And relax and release any tension in the back of the neck and the shoulders. And imagine your shoulder blades are dropping down. And just release any tension in your back. Relax your throat and the chest and the belly, limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring your mind to the breath. Just noticing the cool sensation of the air as you're breathing in. Slightly warmer as you're exhaling. If there are any sounds in your environment, so maybe you have pets in your house or people, maybe you can hear traffic outside or birds, animals. You just allow those sounds to be there. They're just part of your environment. And then refocus your mind. Allow the sounds to fade into the background. Refocus your mind on your breath as you notice your thoughts. As they arise, they abide. And then just fade away. So as we've been doing, just let's imagine we're sitting on the bank of the river. And watching this river of mental moments of ours with interest, objectivity, without engagement, without diving in, drowning in all our bits and pieces. So while we're sitting on the bank of the river, we're free from the river. We're free from our thoughts while we're watching them pass. So let's bring to mind all the people of our life. And they're the people that we love, the people we're in, functional, constructive, healthy relationships with, people who support us, who've got our back, who help us with our projects. And then there's those people that we have a little bit of difficulty with. And this can range from a person that we just kind of like, don't totally support us. Maybe they don't like us. And then there's those people who really actively harm us. And then there's the stranger. Again today, just a 5-minute drive to the shops. Hundreds of people I passed in the car. Oh my goodness, and so many people riding bikes today with their children. That was a little scary. But I passed so many people. And I don't remember their faces, they're just kind of, I see them, I glimpse them. I see them, they drive on by, they're fleetingly moving through my life. I might never see them again. But all the friend, the enemy and the stranger, they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to avoid suffering, and having this incredible capacity for this inspired, enlightened, brilliant mind. So just think we're going to do this meditation this evening on Vajrasattva for the benefit of all these people of our life, by extension for all sentient beings. And perhaps, the latest tragedy, bring to mind all those people in Texas, all the people at the school who are affected, the children who've passed, their siblings, their parents, their relatives, the police who are involved, the family of the person who killed them all. I mean, it just kind of goes on and on and on. It's kind of tragic. So just keep these people in your mind. Do this purification practice for them as well. And just remember, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process it's basically a psychological one. So we're just working with our mind. We create negativity with our mind, with all our delusions, with our negative thoughts, so we can actually change that. We can make the thoughts positive. So we start, this is kind of a training. First is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being today, in this life, or in any of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, just regret anything, even the things you can't remember that might have harmed someone. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, cause and effect. Everything we experience due to our past actions. And so having harmed others, we will necessarily experiencing some sort of result in the future, may possibly, mostly, will be suffering. So who wants that? We know from our present experience of suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, we would want to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So also regret any of our delusions, our negative thoughts, our anger, attachment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, and all the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And again think, I'm sick of this suffering. Then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we are needing Buddha to forgive us. We purify ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can imagine also this is your teacher, your guru, your trusted mentor, this person who's helping you along your spiritual path. Manifesting in this, male Vajrasattva form, Buddha form, for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. This lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential. Born out of our delusions, yet untainted by them. He has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you, like he's really happy to see you. So however it is you've turned up tonight, this is perfectly fine. He's accepting you exactly where you are, meeting you where you're at right now. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've maybe harmed recently and in the past, and maybe just in general any being we may have harmed since beginningless time. Sometimes we tread on a fly or a spider we don't even notice. Then remember those who have harmed you, and it's a little bit more difficult, but the harm they've caused you is going to ripen for them as suffering in the future. So we would have compassion for them, this wish for them to not suffer because of that. So now we come to the power of the remedy. And this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. So first we start with the body. And we're using a mantra and light and nectar in this practice. So imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar this time, like coming out of a hose from a waterfall, very forcefully from his heart. It arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So rejoice, be really delighted that all the harm, you just imagine, all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And so the next is a purification of speech. And imagine, again, Vajrasattva very happily sending powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech, lying, talking badly about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. That's called being divisive. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing, and it's quite strongly overflowing. Lamsa Rinpoche would say, like the same force of a wind blowing a hat off the top of your head. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So imagine how incredible that would be. The minute anybody hears the sound of your voice, it benefits their mind. So the next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness, doesn't it? So it's the same here. The light, the instant the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all your depression and anger and anxiety and unhealthy attachment, grasping and neediness and bitterness and grudges and jealousy, all this kind of petty bickering, all this kind of energy, completely dispelled by this light and the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahazamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And just imagine it's all gone. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And if you like, you can do a couple of mantras each for the visualizations of the body and of the speech and of the mind. And if that's too complicated, you can also imagine light and nectar pouring into you, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the next is the power of resolve, and this is the final step and the fourth step in the purification process. So first I would encourage everybody, invite everybody to just rejoice in the efforts that you've been making. I mean, those of you who've come here on a holiday, which is amazing. So just pat yourself on the back for doing that, taking time to come and do not such an easy practice actually. And then whatever it is you've been working on, rejoice in your effort and the progress that you've been making. And just think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow, whether it be with your speech, some action with your body. And just think, well, I will just refrain from that thing for 5 seconds, wherever it could be ruminating something in your mind. So if that starts to happen, I'll stop myself and then I will refrain from doing it. Break the thought process, give some space, put some space in between my thoughts. So this aspiration to change, it's kind of like a beacon that guides us, gives us strength and courage. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing, and LAMA YESHE used to call that union oneness. So Rinpoche, at this point, Lama Zopa Rinpoche recommends meditating on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand this concept of emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So in this way we can look at all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this purification to all living beings. So perhaps bring to mind the beings that you motivated for at the beginning of the meditation. And think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the 3 jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. And for Lama Ursil, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Sherab, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mary. I really appreciate you hosting all the time. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you, Drew. And thank you, Aaron. Okay. Thanks, Drew. Okay. Lots of love, everybody. Good night. Sleep well. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning.